Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media and feel like there's quite a bit in this video. Obviously, we're coming off a taped NXT and that was quite confusing. We were trying to do the watch along, trying to stay in sync. There was quite a bit that happened there. There's just lots of other bits that have kind of happened. So let's work our way through, shall we? We're going to start in the WWE folder and you can see Christopher. Thank you. We can see the latest in regards to Survivor Series. So obviously the whole canopy thing is up now. Screens are now up at the top. The cage is made. I think the rings are made as well. I haven't seen the kind of entranceway. I'm guessing it's going to be quite limited. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have started the work on that. Yes, my guess is that it's going to be a ring and the screens above, which is going to look really cool, actually, with those screens. But I don't think we're doing much for an entrance stage. So there we go. That coming from SD Flag Guy. Christopher, thank you. Hannah, thank you. Yes, and this was a big surprise. Genuinely, this caught me off guard. I did not think this. So apparently plans were not forced to change due to Penta's injury on Raw. So Solo was always going to win that match. Penta was not winning it. And so we were going to get Solo against Gunther, which I just think is so random. Apparently the match was meant to go another 7-8 minutes longer, but Solo would have won. So they always planned to do Gunther against Solo, which I really do not understand. To me, it makes a lot more sense to have Penta as the babyface, Gunther as the heel. Penta is also someone we should be investing in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really surprised. I really thought that this had changed plans, but apparently not. So there we go. That coming from Dave Meltzer. So James, thank you. So Penta said, thank you to everyone that's checked in on me. This injury has tested my body and spirit, but it's also awakened the strength that has always guided me. I am a Mexican warrior forged in struggle, honor, and heart. And though the fall was hard, I rose with a fire stronger than ever. To my rival, my deepest respect. Thank you for your professionalism and for a clean, dignified battle. I recognize your dedication and honor. I will be back very soon, stronger, more prepared, and determined to finish what I left pending. Thank you for standing with me because this war still has chapters to be written. So no detail, unfortunately. I haven't heard as to whether it's out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Really not sure. But that I will be back very soon line obviously is very encouraging. Talking of Lucha and Lucha Wrestling, this is a big update. So Jason, thank you. And we're getting this update from The Undertaker, right? So apparently AAA has signed with Fox in Central and South America. That is a big deal. It's not something that's going to affect us here in Europe, in the UK, and it's not something that's going to affect North America. But for Central and South America, this is a massive deal. So Undertaker, who's been doing, a lot of work with AAA, believe it or not, said it's the start of a brand new era for AAA. I'm excited for the fans across Mexico, Central and South America, because 2026 is going to be a fun one. So, I mean, they're really up and running now. I can only hope that a lot of these shows are going to be available and accessible for us, because, I mean, we watched AAA at the weekend and I so enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And, we've always had fun with the AAA shows. Like, this really is something that I could bring into the schedule on a more regular basis. I don't know that we could do every week, but certainly we've got room to kind of bring in their shows. So, I don't know. I'm interested. So, a big announcement there in regards to AAA. Right. Yes, let's talk about this. I don't want to spend too long on this because I think I do have a pretty good takeaway. So, actually, it's funny that Dave's going to make these comments because Dave says that this was completely outdated and something Vince would do. Which I agree, because Vince did do these kind of things, like it's a very DX kind of a thing. It felt completely outdated. It felt like something Vince would do, and something they've since gotten away from. Someone obviously thought this was funny. Now, I do think that there was a kind of a bit of a split reaction from the crowd. The crowd seemed to enjoy it, but equally it wasn't like the crowd were absolutely lapping it up. I didn't see what people were saying in our chat, but I did see laughing face emojis, so I know there was plenty of people in our community that were enjoying this, and I enjoyed this. But it wasn't until I was editing my reaction thing after the show had ended that I was thinking, do I feel comfortable with this? Because I don't want this to be a let's all point at the micro wrestler and laugh type segment. And if it is that, I'm certainly not comfortable with that. But that's not how I viewed this segment. I viewed this segment as everyone thinking John Cena's about to come out. I was thinking it was going to be El Grande, and you just completely caught me off guard with something I was not prepared for. You gave me something completely unexpected, and I found the humor in that. And then it was great seeing the micro Stu to go along with the micro Cena. It was great seeing the micro wrestler go off script and things not going the way Dominik wanted it to go. And so, you know, that for me is where I found the enjoyment. And I think that's where WWE intended the enjoyment to be. But my takeaway from this is I would really like to hear from the micro wrestlers. I'd really like to hear their viewpoints. You know, I mean, there is room in wrestling for micro wrestlers. Historically, they've always been like the butt of the joke. They've always been the comedy aspects. But actually, some of them can really work. And some of them can, like, really impress. And we've actually seen some micro wrestlers in AAA that have kind of been amazing. There was, like, a wee LC match that WWE did that was very, very well received. But that had a lot of comedy in it as well, to be honest. Like a little ladder, a little chair, and stuff like that. And obviously a lot of puns. And so, I don't know, man. This is not a conversation we ever have. I'm really pleased that it was a payday for Micro Psycho. So that's great. Like, I'm sure he appreciated that. I'm really pleased that he got this opportunity. I'm sure he loved being on Raw. Same with the Micro Stew. But, yeah, I suppose on reflection, it's probably worth just thinking about, like, what is the way forward with this, you know? So, there we go. I think it'd be great to hear from the micro wrestlers rather than me kind of trying to have the conversation. Let's go over to the other folder, shall we, and see what we've got in here. So, Adam, shout out to you. This is some behind-the-scenes footage. Came from Roman Reigns' TikTok account. So, what we've got here is we've got Roman Reigns. He's backstage, and he is going to be watching from New York, Madison Square Garden. He's going to be watching Javon Evans. I mean, the thing that kind of strikes me is how far away from the TV he is, right? When we go round, it's not the biggest screen, and he is so far away. Like, I personally would not be sat that far back. And then here he is kind of walking through the corridors of Madison Square Garden, making his way over to Javon, and then kind of having a word with Javon and just kind of giving him some feedback and whatnot. And then I think this kind of continues as we just continue to follow Roman, and we see kind of what he got up to on the show, on the broadcast. So I suppose in a way it's a little bit of like a day in the life, if you will, kind of a little bit of a behind the scenes. The most interesting part, though, being him watching Javon and then going and giving him advice, giving him some feedback. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. Right, yeah, Booker T just kind of saying what a lot of people are saying, which is Bret seems to be quite bitter. Bret, you know, I don't know why he keeps holding on to these kind of feuds and things from the past, these grudges. Just sort of like, let them go, and you'd be a lot happier. Like, yeah, there was definitely things that went wrong in the past, and you was definitely wronged, and I can understand the frustration, but, you know, because, like, I think Bret is better than the person that kind of comes across in those interviews and podcasts. He's an absolute legend, but he just seems so angry with the world, and it's like, let it go. Some of the stuff you're saying, like, it's going to close doors, it's going to lose opportunities, you're going to lose opportunities, and maybe Bret's not bothered by that, but it's just a shame. We don't want to see Bret being kept on the outside, you know? We want to see Bret kind of being showcased and featured and used on WWE because he's a legend and we want to celebrate that. So, yeah, I get it's just disappointing, isn't it? It's just disappointing. I wish we could move past that bitterness. But hey, listen, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. Right, Armando, thank you. We got another one of these. It was shown during NXT, and it's just another of those little teases as we're heading towards that women's Wrestlemania Advert, 3 days to go. I mean, they're really bigging it up, building it up. As we said, no one getting carried away this time, though, like when it was the men. Dominik speaks on behalf of being influenced by Eddie Guerrero and other pivotal Lucha Libre figures. He said it's definitely got a lot to do with Eddie. The fact that I've got a mullet, a moustache, I'm basically doing everything I can to not steal absolutely everything from him. But at the end of the day, he is my biological father. It doesn't hurt. It's just surreal. I grew up around the business. Everything I do, whether it's part of my gear, it's wrestling history, the shirt I wear, the tassels, you know, it's all to do with these legends from the past. So there's actually a lot more thought that goes into everything Dominik does. And we might not pick up on all the references because my knowledge of Mexican wrestling is very, very limited. My knowledge of WWE is good, but my knowledge of like Mexican wrestling, AAA, CMLL, very limited. Not stuff that I ever grew up watching, right? But Dominik's, you know, representing that in a lot of what he does. And he says, for me, being able to represent my culture and the history, it's just the development of it. I'm trying to do everything possible to make it work. So I think it just shows the amount of work that kind of goes in, you know, the amount of work that goes into really bringing all of this together. So yeah, man, respect. And then we've got this here from Rey Fenix. He was just speaking at Ringside Fest, and he was saying that he had no idea he was going to be competing at WrestleMania this year. He said, I remember we had the news conference for AAA, and I'd been waiting, right, for the conference. And about 11 that morning, someone came to me and said, have you got your gear? And I said, no, I've got the conference. And they're like, okay, so you need it because you're wrestling tonight. And I was like, how? Where? And they're like, yeah, you're replacing Rey Mysterio. He's injured. Go get your stuff. I had no chance to jump in the ring before the show. I had no chance to even jump on the stage. I had no chance for anything. When I did my entrance, that was the first time in the day that I'd seen the stage. The first time I'd seen the arena. I had no chance to do it. So it was very impressive for me. So when he was coming down, making his entrance, I mean, there wasn't really much they could do because they hadn't rehearsed anything. And, you know, when it comes to the match, they hadn't rehearsed anything. And it was literally, we need you to do this because we need you to help save this match kind of a situation. So I think we knew that at the time. But, yeah, we just didn't realize how little preparation he had actually been given. Like, none. None whatsoever. Right, let's have a look at NXT, shall we? And we can blast our way through this. It was a fun show. I enjoyed it. But, yeah, the taped aspect was a real nightmare. So Jackson Drake defeated Sean Legacy to retain the Evolve Championship. Really good match. Really enjoyed the match. And it was a pretty clean win as well, so respect. Zarya against Fallon Henley for the Speed Championship was underway, and no Sol Ruka in Zarya's corner. Sol Ruka obviously upset that Zarya threw the towel in. Now, what happened here is that went down to 0, right? And then basically Ava came out and said, we're not ending like that. We're going to go sudden death. Now, that doesn't make much sense because the thing with a speed match is that if you get a pinfall or a submission or a count out or something like that, you win, right? It's like a normal match. It just gets done in 5 minutes. So she basically said, okay, we're going to keep going, right? And the sudden death aspect doesn't really make any sense. Sudden death implies that if you get a pinfall or a submission, then you win. But that was always the case. Like, yeah, even Slam X is like, okay, so this match has turned into a match. I could see Brian Alvarez ranting about this. He thinks that Ava's like the worst GM anyway, and I don't think things like this is going to change his mind. But anyway, the match carried on, and we did get a winner in the end, and it was Fallon Henley. So the new women's speed champion is Fallon Henley. That's 2 belts that now found their way in recent weeks to Fatal Influence. Moving on, we had Izzy Dame say that she is going to explain why she betrayed Tatum Paxley next week. Then we had this, look at this. John Cena believes in Joe Hendry. So John Cena, in pre-recorded little video clips, he basically announced who was going to be in the Iron Survivor matches. So here we go. Javon Evans, Miles Bourne, Leon Slater, Dion Lennox, and Joe Hendry. So that's the men's. For the women, Kendall Gray, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Sol Ruka. So that's the men's match. That's the women's match. Really great lineups. Lots of exciting talent in there. And yeah, I was really impressed they put Kendall Gray in. I think she's such an amazing talent. And the fact that she's now found her way into the Deadline event, into the Iron Survivor Challenge, is crazy. That is crazy. I mean, this is a girl that just has not appeared on NXT all that often. She's the current Evolve champion. So, I mean, that is crazy. So, I'm really pleased for her, though. I think she really deserves it. But, yeah, interesting. Obviously, this event is December 6th. So, it's not this weekend. It's the weekend after. So, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the watch-along for that. Then we carried on. We did the Knockouts Championship, TNA Knockouts Championship. And Kalani Jordan was the champion, but she lost the championship. It's now found its way to Li Ying Li. So, formerly known as Xia Li, she is the new Knockouts champion. Really pleased for her, actually. Really pleased, and she was very emotional when she had that belt handed over to her. This is kind of fun. So, Kyle Wrestling, shout out to you. So, this little moment here, look, right, where she kind of puts her hand out, and Kendall, we kind of do something like that, right? Which I don't know what that means. I've never seen that before. But Ren Sinclair said it's a turkey, just in time for Thanksgiving. So I don't know if that's something you lot do in America or whatever for Thanksgiving. I have absolutely no, I've never seen that hand gesture before. But apparently that's a turkey for Thanksgiving. which did tickle me. Kendall responded, "You silly." Following the ejection of Fatal Influence, Ren Sinclair and Charlie Dempsey returned to Ren Sinclair, which was a nice moment. Kendall Gray retains that Evolve Women's Championship. Really good match. I kind of felt like all the matches tonight delivered. Really enjoyed it. We got another vignette from Shiloh Hill. Looking forward to seeing this guy. He said that he had lost his bolt cutters, wanted to know where they were. Kind of left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Maybe we get an answer to that in the third vignette. He's very chatty, very, oh, then this happened and that happened. Does kind of feel like you're watching a streamer in many ways, just kind of like talking to you. It's like a mate down the pub, and then, yeah, this happened with my dad, this happened with my tooth. It's just like, I don't know, it's very different to a normal promo. It's like, hey, here's everything you need to know about me. So I grew up here and I did this and I did that. And I don't know, it's very chit-chatty. It's kind of different from a wrestling promo, like I'm going to come in, I'm going to mess everyone up. He's not really saying that. Instead, he's like, oh, so you want to know a bit more about me? Well, I grew up here and I did this. I kind of like it because I'm learning a lot about him. And I'm looking forward to seeing him like come into NXT. So it's kind of working, but it is a bit different as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing kind of where that goes. And then we went to our main event. Miles Bourne beat Trick Williams. That meant that Miles got added to that Iron Survivor Challenge. Dark State would come down, but the other members of that Iron Survivor Challenge would come out and stand with Miles Bourne. And so they would basically chase Dark State away. Okay, let's go into the fun folder, shall we? And here we've got more Brock Lesnar. So, J Beans, thank you. Here's Brock after the show. So he is going over, look, and there he is marking the floor, saying about how it's slippy. And this is him going to the back. I think Drew comes over as well. Bron just dialed in. Bron's not interested whatsoever. But yeah, even after Brock couldn't kind of shake it. Watch this bit here. Be careful, it's slippy. So there we go, Brock after Raw ended. Jen, thank you. So here, look, we've got this new Signature Series title for Rey Mysterio, introducing the Rey Mysterio Signature Series title, celebrating the greatest mask of all time, the pride of San Diego. So I think this is part of Survivor Series, yes. So San Diego, of course, Rey country. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Really, that's the detail on the back, apparently. So on the back of that, it's got the mask, which is really, really nice. A lot of work has gone into that. You can even see the side bit is like the mask as well. It's really nice. It's really nice. You know it's going to be crazy expensive, though. Crazy expensive. Right, yeah, let's check in with Brock, actually. I mean, here's Brock from 2000. So, you know, obviously we can go back 20-odd years. Let's see what Brock was doing back then, right? Here he is. Okay, yeah, he was falling over. Right, here, Punk finished the story. Johnny, shout out to you, buds. So, last week, and we did have this in Unseen, right? So, here, look. Yeah, Cody left hanging. He goes for the fist bump. Nope. Here we go. This was on Raw this week. And finally, there we go. Look, little smile on the face of Punk as well. So I think he knows that he left Cody hanging the other week. Armando, thank you. So here's Becky saying, anybody caught having any disparaging signs about me at future events will have them confiscated instantly. I am not a loser. Becky had a sign that said loser and her face was in the O and she ripped it up on the show. Seems to have bothered her a little bit because here she is. Only 4 hours ago. Only 4 hours ago. So this is a good 24 hours later that it's still playing on her mind. So she's posted that on X. And talking of Becky, what about that? The first look at Becky Lynch in the Star Trek spin-off Starfleet Academy. How amazing is that? There she is. There she is in the Star Trek thing that she filmed quite a while ago now. But look at this. Now we've got like the memes. Is that Stuart from Mad TV haircut? We've got this person as well. So we've got a few fun... That's cruel, mate. That is cruel. So let's have a look at this. This is the first Ricky Saints figure. So Francis Gameplays said, here's some new first time to lines. So that is great. That looks so good. There's Rey Fenix. That's his WrestleMania attire. So Rey Fenix. Javon, the young OG. That boy, that figure is bouncy. We got El Grande. It looks like it's the Chad variant of El Grande. As well as that, this is Brian Adams. So that is when he was in NWO. We haven't had a figure like that before. And this has excited a lot of people. This is New Jack's very first WWE action figure. There we go. Let's go community. See what we've got in here. So in here we have got Going Ghost. Said Santa came early. My wife has surprised me with an early gift. Look at that. Going to the Tampa live show in Florida on Saturday, December 27th. The holiday tour. So Going Ghost, have a great time, my friend. That is absolutely awesome. And there we go. That was today's Unseen. Let's do thanks. Let's get out of here. So, Edwards, Armando, Elite Pro Wrestling Forum, Huddle Talk, Larry, Wrestling Voids, James, Steve Munson, Sweet Jim Wrestling, Timmy the Man V2, Nails and NY, Raymond, Real Wrestling Fan, Wrestling's Biggest Fan, Patrick, Silverback, Miss Clown, and Claire Webb. So, thank you to all of you guys that have shown love to this video series. But thank you to everyone that watches this. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget, we will be back tomorrow with another Unseen. There is no Evolve tomorrow. It's a week off for Evolve. So, but we will be back with another Unseen. And if I don't see you before and you're in America, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a good one with your families. Recharge, refresh as we head towards Christmas and head towards John Cena's last match, of course. That's going to be emotional. Head towards Survivor Series this weekend. Not as emotional. But yeah, really appreciate it. And hopefully see you next time. Bye for now.